Call September 14th Parks Advisory Board to order. Roll call.
Davis.
Here.
Kieran.
Here.
Kowalski.
Here.
Herman.
Here.
Michelson.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
Rule.
Here.
Schuessler.
Here.
Waller.
Here.
Full house.
Full house, holy cow.
I'll raise.
We want to get elected.
Yeah, except for, except for the boss.
We'll elect him to something.
Yeah. Okay, next I was just informed, we got election of officers. Start out with chairman. Call for nominations 3 times. Do I have any,
Actually, somebody else should be doing this, Terry, typically.
who do you want to do it?
I don't know, somebody, and staff if Ray isn't here.
You want to do it?
Okay, this time I'd like to call for nominees for the chair.
I'd call Terry Wooler.
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Bill and a second from Bill nominating Terry. Entertain any other nominations? Okay, and I'll call again. Any nominations for chair? Third time nominations for chair. Seeing none, we have nomination on the table to have Terry Wooler continue as chair. Call the roll here, right?
I don't think you need
No, you don't have to.
one vote.
Nobody else.
You don't need to. He's railroaded in.
Is that what you wanted to call?
Well, you're next.
Do a voice vote.
She says the vote.
Yeah. Davis.
Yes.
Kieran.
Here.
Kowalski.
Yes.
Herman.
Yes.
Michelson.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Rule.
Yes.
Schuessler.
Yes.
Okay, then next I'll call for a nomination for vice chair.
I nominate Bill Miller.
Second.
Motion and a second to nominate Bill Miller as vice chair. Does anyone want to bring anyone else forward? Any nominations for chair? Second time? Or I'm sorry, vice chair? And third time, any nominations for vice chair? Seeing none, call the roll, please.
Davis.
Yes.
Kieran.
Yep.
Kowalski.
Yep.
Herman.
Yep.
Michelson.
Yes.
Rule.
Yes.
Schuessler.
Yes.
Waller.
Yes.
Welcome aboard.
That means you buy drinks for
Yeah, that's fine.
If it's free, you'll buy.
As long as Willer doesn't tip over, we're good.
All right. Approve the August 10th minutes. Any additions, corrections?
Move to accept.
Second.
Kowalski. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We don't have any citizens. We'll start with an update on Menominee Park Shoreline Restoration Project.
Okay, and I'll take that. Mr. Mitchell was unable to attend this evening, and I agreed to kind of bring forward the draft restoration project. And this is actually a work plan, and a while back we had requested that he participate in our Adopt a Park plan with this program. So last month we forwarded kind of an earlier draft version of their work plan to all of you, and we got a few responses back, either telephone calls or emails, requesting some changes to that plan. So I met with Mr. Mitchell once again, and we kind of collectively redesigned some of the work plan here going into next year. So hopefully everybody has had an opportunity to kind of read through some of it. What I'd like to do tonight is gather any input from you regarding that draft plan that you have before you. You could also email me or call me with any other comments after the meeting if you think of something, but I'd like to kind of get this back to Justin so that he can kind of move forward. We made some revisions primarily related to how they would approach handling some of the taller plants. There was some statement earlier about 3 to 5 foot plants, and what I asked him to do is just to keep all that, any plants that they knew they were going to have to remove at a later date or move, that we'd like those trimmed down to 3 feet so that we didn't have any of that 3 to 5 foot range material in there. So he agreed to do that. They've also worked with us on trying to decrease the density to some degree. There was a lot of the plants, they were moving to the new site at the lift station, and so consequently, there was some earlier discussion about replacing some plants, but what I've asked them to do is kind of to limit the density, and then in some of the areas adjacent to the path, to actually, if they're going to replant, put in smaller plants that would be more representative of what was requested early on in the program, so that we can at least get an idea of what that would potentially look like. The intention is to, over time, decrease the height as best as possible, and then, also maintain some of the trails that we had installed initially to allow access for fishermen, and also to try to keep some of that taller plant material from encroaching onto the asphalt path as well. So with that, if anyone has any ideas or suggestions, I'd be happy to kind of jot those down, and we this is only a draft work plan at this point, so we would like to get it fully developed, and then we would like to have Mr. Mitchell attend with us at our next meeting to explain it in a little more detail.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
You want me to get that? I was down to that little project, and I should say pilot project, and Mr. Mitchell has to remember that this is only a test area. And right now, I think he's got an F from me on that test area. I got out of my car and walked over to the plants, and I didn't have a tape measure, but I know from my waist down to the ground is 36 inches, and 90% of the plants were to my armpits. That's not 3 feet. And that's what we agreed on. Well, we initially agreed on 2 feet, and we got pushed up to 3, which we accepted, or I accepted, or well, we did. The second thing in here, on September 5th, it says completed purchase order contracts of $850 for low-growth native plants for installation in existing beds in 2016. I think he's putting the cart in front of the horse, If I was to make a motion right now, I'd say rip the whole thing out and see if maybe the golf course wants some of that stuff for their land, but right now, what I'm seeing is not attractive. It's not what we agreed on. We agreed up to 3 feet. And this stuff is just growing wild. And then, where is he going to spread the harvested / purchase seeds? I think I'd come, if I was this project, I'd come up with, to the Parks Board and say, is it okay if I purchase some more seeds? Instead of just going out and doing it, $850, well, that's it. I'm not real happy with the project right now. I'm not happy with any of it, and like I said, if it came to a vote, I'd vote to take it all right down to back to where it was.
Jim?
Yes. Bill, did you explain to Justin when you met with him, because I keep on seeing over and over this, like, for example, in this draft, it talks about identifying to get the existing beds towards the vision of several Parks Board's members. as I recall, in going back into the minutes, it wasn't our vision, it's what we were told. And did you tell them that you were the one who set the height restriction? I mean, did you explain that to Justin?
I actually asked him to remove the language referencing vision of Parks Board members, and it's still here. I did make it pretty clear that that's what we were after, to keep it at that 3 foot, not beyond.
Okay. All right. I guess, I really want to go back, I hate to go back through all this, but I think to really understand this, we have to go back to earlier minutes on what the Parks Board was told and how this kind of developed into wherever we are today. But I'm going back to special meeting minutes from April 25th, 2012, and Bill, you got a copy of this. I sent a copy to you and Ray and a few others. And in one of the paragraphs, it says, Mr. Sturm stated no invasive species are being planned for that area, including cattails. Terrestrial water-type plants or prairie plants are being proposed, nothing that would be higher than 2 feet. Mr. Sturm stated he would provide the board with photographs of the proposed plantings. I guess I'd like your take on that.
Again, we had discussed this earlier. The intention was to not have anything higher than the 2 feet initially. The plant supplier that was selected consulted with the group on the type of seeding and transplants that should be utilized in that area. I wasn't fully familiar with all of those species, and ultimately what we got was material that did grow taller than 2 feet. So I'm not a native plant expert, and I did not realize that some of those things were going to eventually become problematic as part of this project. So with that, obviously we're backtracking now to try to get it down to that lower level, but we went under the guidance of the contractor and the consultant on the project, and ultimately we've got material that has grown taller than what our expectation was at that time.
This is kind of where, kind of stepping back, I mean, this is really what I think is kind of happening here. And this is kind of my take of the whole program. The board thought we were getting a plot of nice-looking, prairie plants that would be less than 2 feet, and that they would do a reasonable job of water retention, stormwater retention in the area. They'd look nice, and they'd be low, and maybe ground cover or low plants 2 feet or less. And in my opinion, what's happened here, and I've had a class years ago in hydrogeology, and it's almost like what we've got is this utopia of these plants that with deep roots that are made like in the perfect situation for stopping pollution, water stuff. I mean, first of all, we have clay soils. Winnebago County, this area is mostly clay soil. Most water's running off anyways, regardless of what you want to do or say or whatever. But these plants like this with the big root systems, the big 3 to 7 foot plants like this, are good. They are good at retaining water, trying to suck up the water with the roots. But that's not what we thought we were getting. We thought we were getting these, not utopia, we thought we were getting low plants that would do a reasonable job of water retention, that kind of stuff. What we've got is these big plants with deep roots, and it's almost like a model. If you go back in the hydrogeology handbook, you can look at the plants and deep roots, and it's almost like, oh, this is like the perfect utopia planting. This is not what we need here. I mean, we're at a park. We're at a park. We have neighbors. We have park users that want to look at the water. We don't have to have utopia. Why? And then I guess the other thing in my own mind is why would you pick this site to plant those kind of plants? I mean, there's so much better places where these plants could really do a difference. You got these big 3 and 5 and 7 foot plants with deep roots. Put them someplace where they're really going to make a difference. First of all, this site is flat. It's got clay soils. Most of the water runs off anyways. We don't use
Jim, I
fertilizers.
disagree. I don't think anything runs off. I've been.
Well, it actually
backflows, yeah.
Actually,
So,
yeah, you're right, Bill. Actually, if you look at the land there, there's probably more water going away from Winnebago than is going into Winnebago. You're right, Bill. I didn't want to say that, but that's the truth. And you've got these first of all, we don't use any fertilizer. The city doesn't use a fertilizer. There's no, where's this pollution coming from, So in other words, you got clay soils, you got water that's probably going away from Winnebago, and you got these super plants that are in this site. That's what I'd call them. They're super plants. They're great at what they're designed to try to do. But you could use these plants in so many other places rather than here where they would do good in the city or Winnebago County. You could put them on areas where there's fertilizers are used, roads that are draining into streams or storm sewers that are causing pollution. These plants are good plants that could really, I think they kind of look nice, not in this environment, but some of them are nice looking plants, but not here. Maybe at North High Conservancy Park, maybe at some of these other places I was saying, because they would really do a lot of value in some other areas of the city and the county, but not in this location. The present view, like I said, for the neighbors and park users, it was 2 feet or less. And I agree with Bill. If the plot cannot be reduced, in my opinion, to 2 feet or less that the Parks Board was told, then I feel we should terminate the pilot program at this location.
Mr. Herman.
Thank you. I don't know if this is appropriate if it's been rolling enough. I wasn't part of the initial discussion, but in the spring of this year, the council did approve able to burn prairie grass. Maybe this area needs to be burned off to get rid of some of those plants.
I think we
maybe
did
they
that
can't.
last year.
Okay.
If Chad were here, I think we did.
Because I know the county park
was
has
cut
all
last
kinds
year.
of prairie grass.
Yeah, we mowed it down.
Mowed it down, but, at the request of the county parks system, they wanted a prairie grass burning ordinance. So we approved that because not only for this spot, but I know the university has some prairie grass areas, and so does the school district. So I don't know if at this point, it's only been a couple of years, 3 years, I think, that's been in, and that maybe it's ready to be burned back, and that would take care of a lot of the high plants, maybe, and after the burning off, then they could plant those newer ones that they're talking about. But just as another thought, like I said, I don't know how long you wait to burn off prairie grass. I'm not an expert either, but like I said, that ordinance is out there now. We passed that last
That's not a lot of
spring.
prairie grass that's in there.
No.
That's,
Well, whatever grows there.
Prairie plantings,
If
I
you
think,
drive
is
through the
what
county
they're
park
looking
and look
for.
at all their stuff, they got every kind of thing in there, and,
Just a couple questions. I understand what these committees are trying to do. I really do, and, I think everybody's a little very cognizant of this, but I want to know how many gallons of untreated, unfiltered water come through that pump station every day. I mean, this really should be about education. This isn't doing anybody any good, and everybody knows it. There's no water quality issue that this is solving. This is 50 feet by 8 feet, and let's keep it what it is. It's educational is the only way you're going to sell me on this. And the other thing you're going to sell me, it's got to be shorter. I've been driving by that all summer long. I know why the neighbors are angry. I know why I get phone calls. I know why everybody else gets phone calls. It looks like a jungle. It has to be managed better. It just does. So, I mean, if we can't get it down to that 2 or 3 feet, we're going to be talking about this till the cows come home. So, so it's just.
No, we aren't.
Well, I'm just saying, with the neighbors are going to continue to call, they're going to continue to complain.
Yeah, they will, but
So, and again, I appreciate what these people are trying to do, I get it, but I have to agree with Jim and Bill and say that this is probably not the ideal location for this, and if we can't get it down to 2 or 3 feet, I would have to say that, right now, I would give this project a D-. So it just, we should give them some time, we should let them try to fix some of these problems, but the complaints are not going to stop coming in.
done? Yes.
I went out there too. I think compared to a year ago, it's better. It's not great. It's not there yet. I think it's better. I am impressed with the plan. I think this is the most detail we've gotten from them since I've been on the board, and I wasn't there when the original decision was made. I know, Bill, you probably helped a lot with that, so thank you. I do agree, though, that we're not going to stop talking about this unless this plan actually works. And I don't know if we have to give that time to let it work and see if it truly can work itself out. But, yeah, if I were the neighbors too, it looks a little unruly right now. But it's better than a year ago.
Okay. Anybody else before I start? All right. I'm sick of sitting here talking about this, and I think what we have to do, Ray talked to me, next month, instead of coming here, or sometime before that, before the meeting, we all go out there, and Mr. Mitchell could come up there, he can bring his experts, he can bring whoever he wants to bring out, and we'll go actually look at this stuff instead of sitting at this table talking about it, that this is that way and this is that way. We can go out there and look at it, we can express all our opinions, and we come to a concession next month about this. Because I don't want to sit and talk about this for the next 2 years or 3 years. Like you said, it was a pilot program, everything. We should all go out there and say, here, this is what you got, and this is what we'll accept, and this we won't accept. But go out there and look at it, and stand there and look at it, and actually go through the whole thing. I don't think it makes much sense to sit here and talk about it, unless we're gonna have a vote to just take it out altogether. But I'm willing to give them a chance, and if they wanna, if we go out there and actually stand by it and see it, we're gonna be done with it then. This is what we want, this is exactly what we, and there is no other choice. This is what we want, this is what we agreed to. I can't see sitting here, meeting after meeting, talking about it, because we say the same thing all the time. Ray can set it up, and we can go out there and look at it. Instead of the next meeting, instead of coming in here, we'll go out there. We've done that on other occasions, we've gone out and
We used to do a tour of the parks every year.
We used to do a tour of the parks years ago, where we looked at tennis courts, or we looked at everything else. Well, we'll go out and look at this, and go through it, and see what's going on. We'll have Ray set it all up, and go from there. Because I can't see sitting here talking about this every meeting. And it's gonna keep coming up, face it. We're gonna keep getting the complaints. If the neighbors wanna come out, I really don't care. The more the merrier. Let everybody express their opinions, but do it when we're standing there looking at it. Not sitting here and say, we don't like these tall ones. I don't care if they come up to your armpits or your nose or wherever they come. We can look at them and actually do something about it. And that's my idea, because I don't want to sit and talk about it here anymore.
I second that.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea, Terry.
Why don't you coordinate that, and then Trish can send out an email to everybody. I think that's a great idea.
A real good idea.
It's the only good idea you had all year.
Here's almost.
No, I had one more, but it concerned you, and I'm not going to tell anybody.
They actually started over tonight. He's reelected. His first good idea, the new regime.
Anything more on that, or should we go from that, go on to the next? You want to talk about it anymore?
Bill's got it all under control.
Yep.
I copied a lot of notes here, so I think that's a good plan, and Ray did mention to me also that he thought it would be good to meet on site.
Did you write down the 2 grades that he got, an F and a D minus?
And pilot, did you write the word pilot down?
Okay, now we go to Mr. Dobish. How do you pronounce Dobish? Yeah. He's going to update us on the golf course fees. Oh, he's pushing it off. He's pushing it off to Trace. Never mind.
He did all the legwork on the other golf courses.
That's good.
Things, You'll look out in your packets, our proposed fees for next year. Each year, it's been now 3 years, and we make little tweaks. It's obviously a very competitive business with all the golf courses we have around here, and we always try to kind of fall in line with the other golf courses. They're never usually the highest. We're also not the lowest. We try to stay in the middle. What we're looking at for next year, the only thing we're looking to change, and when you see that spring-fall rate there, the walking 9 and 18 holes, there's not a great term for that. It's almost like our non-peak times. We use that rate during the spring and the fall, but we also use it Monday, Wednesday before 2 o'clock and all day Fridays.
Okay.
So we use that rate more than just the spring and the fall.
So it's non-peak, kind of.
And non-peak. By raising the 9 holes per fence and the 18 holes by $1, that'll increase revenue by about $6,000 next year.
Just for that, on the walking?
Yeah. I still think that's a pretty good price point for us for the spring, fall, especially for the non-peak, because you can play that, like I said, on Fridays. And if you ever come out to our golf course on Fridays are generally one of our busiest days. And I think it's kind of known that we've got this rate on Fridays. There's a lot of reasons why that rate kind of came in on Fridays in the past, and I've just kind of kept it there. And then also in turn, actually didn't bold it, but down below the twilight after 5:30 we go to $12.50 as well, rather than $12, because we kind of keep that in line with the twilight. And then the carts, a small increase there, 50 cents for 9 holes, $1 for 18, which keeps us in line. Again, we're kind of in the middle. Some of the courses in the area are a little bit more, but some are less, but we're kind of in the middle at that rate. And that increase, based on rounds in the past and what people have been riding, that would be a little more than $4,000, $4,050 ballpark. That's based on what we've done the last couple years, because that's assuming the same number of people are riding, but cart usage does not go down. More and more people are riding, and not the older generation, but the younger generation are all riding carts. The college kids, they don't walk. But those are the only increases we're looking to make, and everything else.
Yeah, I think, we have to keep raising some prices to make more money, because let's face it, everybody thinks it's all paid off. It's not paid off. We probably owe $800,000 yet to the city, but it's working out pretty good, and I think everything is, I think you're the busiest place in town, there's no doubt about that, and you're doing a good job. I don't think these prices are outrageous by any means.
Trace, do we factor in how many people will lose as part of this? I mean, do you?
Don't know.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to lose people.
Okay.
Over $1 increase in the spring and fall and during non-peak times.
And you know as well as I do, I'm not the golf expert, but I'm just curious.
Like I said, our Fridays are our busiest day of the week.
Okay.
In the summer.
Okay.
And I think $1, well, it depends if they ride potentially $2.
Right.
We're still going to be, on Fridays especially, we're going to be less than anybody. No one's going to be close to that. So I don't envision losing rounds to that.
I can't see how you'd lose any rounds for this.
No.
Not for that little.
No.
Trace, looking at this, Utica's the other one. The other golf courses have weekday rates and weekend rates. Have you ever thought about that? You're looking at West Haven, Reed, and Lake Breeze. They go up about.
What are you looking at? Either the regular rates?
Yeah, all the rates. Walking 9, walking 18, seniors, juniors.
I mean, we have our weekend rates. I guess our weekend rates are our full rate, basically. We don't call it weekend rates.
Yeah, that's
full rate.
That's just the full rate.
$23.
Right. But that's, Monday through Friday, like, we'll take West Haven. Monday through Friday, they're 22, and then the weekend, they're $27.50. And Reed is
$29.50.
$29.50 on the week, $26.50 during the week, and $29.50. And Lake Breeze is $23 Monday through Friday and $24.50 on the weekend. We do not raise our rates from week the weekend.
Well, we also
Yeah,
don't,
of course.
but we also have that reduced rate for more than half of our weekdays. So we only, that full rate, our weekend rate is that 23, and only days we charge 23 are on Tuesday, Thursday. So I mean, the $18 price is more than half of our week is our weekday rate. I mean, I don't think we can afford to go to 18 all week. I mean, the $23, I mean, if we did that, we'd have to go 23 and then take our weekend to 26, are you saying?
Well, that's what the other courses are doing. They raise it for the weekend.
So what day are the full rates again?
Tuesday and Thursday
And then the weekends?
and the weekends. And then after 2 o'clock.
On Monday, Wednesday.
On Monday, Wednesday, yeah.
Oh, just a question, I don't mean to catch you guys off guard, and if you don't know, I understand, I should have thought of this before you got here, but are we on track for budget this year out there?
We're about, through August, revenue-wise, we're about 30,000 over last year when we were at this time.
Okay,
Budget, but again, we opened earlier, so our expenses are also going to be higher because of our opening as well, but we are on pace to do better.
right, so we're within our budget and we're a little ahead, okay.
Yeah.
Right, that's all I needed to know, thank you.
But a lot of that's due to the fact we opened in the middle of March.
Okay.
That was a big key for us, like any golf course in the area. Every golf course in the area with that early start should be having a pretty good year. Can't guarantee they are, but they should, you know.
I can see
I
what
just
you're,
don't know if we can go higher than 23 on the weekends, and
yeah, I can see where you're talking, go up like the rest of them, but I also want to keep it a deal for the people of Oshkosh. And as long as we're making money, and it's going to go up some just with the little increases, I think we're sitting all right.
I think maybe, and I don't want to speak for Bill, but maybe raising it $1, do you see that as a problem on the weekend? I mean, Steve?
I just threw the question out because other courses were doing
Yeah,
it.
I don't know if you were talking about raising them, Bill, just clarification, you just were trying to get clarification between.
But to do it,
the weekends and
You ever think about doing it.
Right.
Because of the
Think
other
about it,
courses.
because I had the same question, I saw the same thing, the weekdays, weekends, and I kinda had the same question, I wasn't, thinking about raising it as far as that goes,
And
clarity kinda.
what do you think? I mean, we can sit here and talk it all the time. Do you think you should raise it to 24
I
or 25?
I would say no.
would agree. I don't think raising the weekend can help us.
I think in the end, you're gonna chase people away.
Right, I think guys came up with a good, you're not raising it that much, nobody will even know the difference probably.
We went to 23 this is our first year at 23. We were at 22 last year.
You have to remember,
So-
something that we've been fighting an uphill battle against virtually every other competitor. We do not have alcohol or a kitchen.
That might change.
Boy, that just
Whether it may, we'd love it to have it change, but the fact remains, we have to give them another reason to come out there.
Right.
And
Turn it over to Mr. Herman.
Well,
No, we'll get done with this first.
we don't have the
Right.
facility to
Right.
have large events, we don't have a kitchen, we don't have the clubhouse facility that we would need to do something like that. So we have to give the mom and pops, the kids, the foursomes and the small groups a place to go that's reasonable, and a reason to go there, because it is a little better deal. And if we raise price, I'm afraid
It's
they're
absurd.
gonna start looking elsewhere.
They get to see you, right? That's it.
Is there,
Not if they're,
well, there,
Rates right now, so we'll get that.
And the other thing, if you look at their weekday rates, or let's say, I'm not just going to throw one out here, like Greece 23, but they're 23 Monday through Friday. Like I said, more than half of our week, we're at 18
Okay.
weekdays. And like I said, people know, Fridays wouldn't be as busy as they were if they didn't already know what our rates were. Steve plays quite a bit on Fridays. Well, you guys do too. You guys see Fridays. Fridays are,
Mondays and Thursdays.
Should we double the fees for park board members?
Already paying
Careful
double.
what you wish for.
we have a motion to accept the revised golf course. Go ahead, make a motion.
Aye, yeah,
I'll motion.
Okay, second?
second,
Second.
we got plenty.
Call or roll call.
Davis?
Yes.
Aaron's?
Yes.
Kowalski?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Michelson?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Rule?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Waller?
Yes. I don't know if we should jump right into the Pollack pool or let Mr. Herman, we'll probably leave you to the end, huh?
Yeah, I got two things I want to bring up, so that's fine.
Okay. Jenny?
Okay, so I was asked to kind of research different pools towards the end of the summer. So my managers at the pool worked on that and compiled the information. So we just completed our 10th year at Pollack Pool, which doesn't at all seem that long, but it's been 10 years. And in those 10 years, we've never had an increase in fees within the 10 years that we've been open. So we did research with 8 other surrounding pools that you'll see on your charts, Appleton, Pollack, Aquana, Little Chute, Needham, Menasha, Amro, to kind of see where they're at and what they're doing for their rates. So again, because there are a lot of surrounding pools, to kind of remain competitive with those pools. We do have a lot of people that come to our pool from Appleton because they love our pool. We have the zero depth area for the little kids. We have the lazy river, which not a lot of pools have. We have, the 2 slides plus the drop slide, the diving board. So we have a lot of different, amenities to our pool that some of the smaller pools don't have. So we do have a very, very nice facility. So I am not proposing that we raise daily fees at all. If you look at the daily fees, there's one pool the same as us. Nina's at $3. Fond du Lac is up at $4. But the rest of them, there's a lot of them still at $2.50, $2.75. We're at $3, so I don't propose that we should raise our daily fees at all. I just think that again that would hurt us more than help us with those daily visits. Pollack certainly, just like the city of Oshkosh, a destination point for people who are coming to all the festivities in town. So we get people from Rock USA, Country USA, and EA. We do get. It's not crazy busy on those days, but we certainly meet people from those events that come to town. So if you look at the yearly, the season passes then, just starting out with a family of 4, we right now are at, a family of 4 is our typical pass, so it's 4 people on the pass, and then if they want more people, it's an additional fee per person above 4. So we're at $120 on that, which is kind of in the middle of some of those places. There's a couple lower, a couple higher. So we're proposing to go to $140 for a family of 4. And then $10 each additional. If you look lower at the youth, adult, senior, an increase of $10 per youth, adult, or senior. If you look at the rates of the other pools, we are quite low on our youth and our adult and our senior rates. So we're proposing to move those up $10 per person. The other thing, and you can see the youth pass, senior pass, adult pass, family pass, and then the family add, which is $10 per person above 4, which we would propose to go to $15. So using the numbers from this current year of the 2015, it would be an increase in $7,330 if we had the same numbers that we have this year. We had a cool year at the pool. Most of June was pretty cool. July was probably record-breaking. July was awesome, at the pool. And then we, again, in August, we don't have the final numbers in yet, but July was an awesome month. June was down with the cool temperature. So that's what it would propose if we had the same numbers, would be $7,330. The other thing that I propose we do is right now, children 3 and under are free to enter our pool, which again is a child up to their 4th birthday. So I mean, they can be darn near 4 to come in free. If you look, a lot of the other pools do the 2 and under, so I propose that we move that to 2 and under. Again, a kid that's almost 4 has a lot of value being at the pool, so I think 2 and under free would be. And again, that would increase our revenue. I don't know by how much, because we don't record kids 3 and under at this time. So that's what we're kind of proposing, to kind of stay up with the other pools, and again, the first time in 10 years. So.
I'd just like to say, Jenny, this was a great report that you put out showing current, proposed, and the increased revenue. I think that was very helpful, was to me.
Sure.
I think it was very, very good, and very well done.
Like I said, the charts my managers did this summer, the comparison charts, they get credit for that. So they kind of called the pools towards the end of the season, and then, I put together them.
Very good. Job well done.
I make a motion to accept.
Question? Yeah, Jenny, also, good job in putting all that data together. It's really good. One question I have is, have you ever thought about charging for non-residents? Because I see we're the same for residents and non-residents. A lot of people charge different rates for non.
We are in the process of, this going into next year, what I have here is what we're proposing. We're in the process of kind of researching that non-resident thing. There was some communications, the pool was first built about resident, non-resident. We need to go back and research, what the agreement was when the pool was brought forward and the family that brought forward the money. We've never had a non-resident fee, and I believe there's some documentation on that. So we need to go back and do some research if we're able to do a non-resident fee.
Yes, there is. There's language on
There's
that.
something.
But at my age, I can't remember what it was anymore.
Who you got, Trish?
I'm sure if you call it a foundation.
There was something with the foundation or
think so,
two,
too.
but there was something with resident, non-resident.
It was something either from the family that brought the money forward or from the foundation, but we need to clarify where that came from and I guess what was agreed upon 10 years ago. So we will, this off-season, we will be researching that and finding out if we can do that or move forward with that. But I do, like I said, I remember 10 years ago, I don't know if it was Tom, it was the foundation, if it was the family, there was something when the pool came.
Oh, really? I don't remember that.
With that. And that's why we never had them. So we are going to do some research over the winter to find out, what that is, so.
I'm a little concerned about the increases. The increases, I plugged the numbers in with the increases, and this would make us the most expensive season passes for the youth, adult, and senior, other than Fond du Lac. We'd be the highest, other than Fond du Lac, for those. And for the family, we'd be the highest of anybody. And that kind of concerns me.
If you look, right now, we are the second lowest youth family pass.
Right.
And we are the,
So, okay, we'd move to $55, and Fond du Lac is $75.
right,
We'd be number 2.
second highest,
Yep.
right?
Same thing with adult. We'd be number 2 there, and for the other one, for the senior, we'd be second highest also.
I guess if you guys want to take some time to, again, research these pools, our facility, like I said, what we offer is much more than a lot of these, facilities. So you have to take that in consideration too, the fact that we do offer, like I said, people do travel to our pool because of the amenities we have. And I mean, I guess by doing it this way, the hope isn't to do it every single couple years. The hope is to do an increase. And I mean, like I said, there hasn't been one in 10 years.
Right.
And with the raise in chemicals and the facility is starting to age after 10 years, and we want to keep up with that. We don't want to have a facility that's becoming to be, have a lot of mechanical issues, and so we do keep up on it. And so with the increases, that'll help offset some of that. And I don't know, when these pools last did an increase, or if they plan on doing an increase.
That's what I was gonna say. There's probably meetings going on in Appleton, Fond du Lac, Amro, and they're all raising their rates.
I mean, it would put us.
Because they have to. And after 10 years, we have to. Let's face it, that's a no-brainer. After 10 years, just the price of chemicals alone.
Yeah, and chemicals have increased, greatly, and we're trying to get, more efficient. Chad's looking at a different kind of, cleaner pool vacuum to decrease staff and get it done quicker, so we look at a lot of things with the pool to really try to keep it up where it needs to be. It's a very, very used facility that people do love, and we want to keep it, keep it up to date and running smoothly.
I guess, and the family ones concern me. I mean, the youth, adult, senior, they're kind of, but I guess I wish that we could have researched the resident, non-resident, it was all part of the same package so that we would know. I agree. I wish we would have, it would have been nice in hindsight if we would have, maybe 5 years ago, taken a look at these and maybe upped them a little more, and, so they're a little more recent. I mean, we are definitely due for an increase, there's no doubt about that. I'm not questioning that. I mean, one thing we do have going for us, and I don't know if the other pools do or not, I mean, I've gone to the Nina one and a few of these other ones. But, I mean, we have the, subsidy from the school system for the lifeguards. We also have the $1 million maintenance fund, endowment, which I think is one of the best gifts ever. And like I said, that shouldn't really affect our rates as far as that goes. I just think that was such a nice gift that people gave. That's one of the most thoughtful things and really helps our pool. That endowment fund for the maintenance, right? I mean, it's really a big deal. I was hoping that we would have had information on resident, non-resident, and we could do it as a package. I mean, I guess that was kind of one thing I was, I don't have such a problem with the youth, adult, senior, but we're going to be the highest in, like I said, in the family ones. And we don't really know what's happened with non-resident.
Hey, Jenny, and I mean, it's been a handful of years before I had the kids at the pools all the time, but I mean, Oshkosh is far better than anybody else. I mean, we're talking Nina, and from my recollection, maybe they've got new ones and I'm not aware of them, but I mean, I think that there is a very legitimate reason to probably be the second highest price. I mean, when you compare what Nina and Appleton, I mean, it's apples and oranges from my...
Yeah.
I agree too.
Do we know the last time all of these other pools increased their rates? I'm assuming, okay, so we don't know if it's been 10 years for them too, or if it's been, okay. And the daily prices are good every day of the week? There's not a weekend rate at these pools?
There's a dollar drop after 5 p.m. for, that's what we do. Again, I mean, if you guys feel differently about the daily rates, it's just right now, the only pool higher than us is Pollack at 4 and 5. So I just propose we stay at 3 and 4 to not increase those daily visits. The one thing, I will share is we do have the pass sale, if you're concerned about the family passes, we do offer the discounted rates before May 31st and on our season pass sale night. So there's 2 nights the first week of June that we go down to the pool, people come and pre-buy their passes, take pictures, all that stuff. So that's the price is down by 20 for a family. So essentially, if people get there before May 31st, like we advertise in all of our brochures and all of our stuff, they'll still get the 120 rate if they buy it before the 31st of May. And like I said, we do promote that everywhere, so it's kind of like an early bird special. And the same thing is, so essentially, before May 31st, our current prices would be what it would be next year. Without the increase. And then if they buy them after May 31st, they'd be the higher price.
Yeah, like I said, the biggest issue I have is with the family. I mean, I think the other ones seem fine, the youth and all that.
$5
But yeah,
for the whole...
But I don't get, the thing that concerns me the most is the not knowing what's happening. We're talking about a whole thing here, and we don't know what's happening with non-residents.
That's what we're gonna find out after she
I wish we could do it all together.
It ain't happening.
I mean,
Thank you.
That's real easy.
Thank you for the
It ain't happening.
it might happen that we can't have a non-resident fee.
Right, and it might be, yeah.
And
It could be.
for some reason, I went to Ray and I said that, there was something, and what it was 10 years ago, and who it was from,
Right.
I'm not.
I don't remember that, but
Well, it's through the foundation.
definitely people do, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we might find out that that's just, how the pool is always going to be. We might find out different, we have to do some digging on that, so.
Cleared for a motion?
Sure.
Make a motion, we accept the proposal.
I second.
Roll call?
Davis?
Yes.
Aaron's?
Yes.
Kukaleski?
Yes.
Herman?
Yes.
Michelson?
No.
Miller?
Yes.
Rule?
Yes.
Schussler?
Yes.
Wooler?
Yes. Okay. Mr. Herman, would you like to go first?
Sure, why not? 2 things. We're talking about the golf course. Came across my tablet today from the League of Municipalities. There's a legislator, it says Representative Ken Skowronski, Republican from Franklin, plans to introduce a bill that the league supports allowing municipalities to sell liquor and wine at municipal parks and golf courses. Currently, municipalities may sell beer only. and they recommend that if anybody's interested, they can contact your local legislator. It's reference legislative bill LRB 1921, LRB 1921. I sent an email off to Representatives Hintz and Schwa already, and Gudex, asking them to support this bill. I think it could increase some of our outings at the golf course and maybe increase some revenue for the golf course. The second thing, you may remember over the Labor Day weekend, they closed the Menasha locks due to invasive species fish coming through. Gobies. All right, I contacted Parks Director Mauer about it, a little bit of concern I have because of the economic impact of that fish into the Winnebago system could be huge for us as Event City. And so I talked to Scott Engel, president of Otter Street. He was not real aware of the whole situation, but the DNR warden or fishery involved in it is Kendall Kempke, which some of us know, and Kendall's phone number is 920-427-9830, and he'd be happy to talk to anybody about the fish and that, but they're just in the early stages of finding out where it's at, how it could impact. If it gets in the Winnebago system, I know they had a biologist on it, said it didn't affect the Great Lakes all that much, but they don't have a clue of how it will affect the sturgeon, the spawning of the sturgeon, the walleyes, all that type of stuff. And just on our end, as a city council, we're keeping a little bit of an eye on it. We're not making a stand yet or passing any kind of resolutions, but I know the Convention Visitors Bureau is concerned about it. I talked to Wendy Hillsberg about it. And just the whole thing that we want to keep an eye on it because of all the different fishing tournaments that come through us and all the different events that are connected to the Lake Winnebago system and the impact it could have. So I just wanted to, if anybody's interested, you can give Kendall a call, but I think there'll be some more coming out from the DNR and the fishery on it in the future. So something this board might want to keep an eye on.
Yep.
As the Parks Board for the city.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Now, Bill Sturm, Landscape Operation Manager's Report.
Okay, I don't have a whole lot. Our forestry crew has been continuing to work on lifting trees for sanitation truck clearance. We've had a lot of growth on the trees this year, so we've been struggling to keep after those requests. We still have some ongoing tree removals we're working on. Preparing a few sites for some projects. South Park restroom, we had to take some trees down in that area to accommodate the new restroom building that's going up. We're getting all the stump grinding set up for fall. We've got quite a few to do, so we'll be pushing up against winter with that work. We've been doing some Opera House Square turf repair work for the Parks Department. Some landscape maintenance, including the roundabouts, is all in the Forestry Division area, so we've been trying to work away at the roundabouts to try to keep those in shape. Rochland Park, we've been doing some additional landscaping work there, and just recently we did some work here at City Hall to add some landscape plant beds out here to make it a little nicer for the visitors to City Hall. We've also been doing some invasive species removal work over at Hikers Park, which has kind of a little wood lot there that we've been trying to clear out as best as we can as well. So that's essentially all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Jenny, again.
Well, we are just finishing up. We're open here to the end of September, just on weekends at the Children's Amusement Center and the zoo. So the 28th of September, we'll be closing up all those areas and cleaning things up and getting all of our reports done. The pool is done, as we know, so we're waiting on some pickups over there of product yet and things for credits from the season. Otherwise, that facility is almost closed down and ready to go. Also finishing up pretty quick here in October at the Leach. We have the big dragon boats this weekend, and then there's some weddings and some smaller things like that. And then we'll be working on shutting that facility down. So after we're done here, we'll work on numbers at the end of September going into October. We are doing a fall softball league at the Ball Diamonds. So we're doing concessions yet through mid-October there. So again, kind of towards the end of October, beginning of November, we'll be able to start working on numbers at all the facilities. Otherwise, getting ready for our big 13th annual Zuluween Boo. So that is on October 17th and 18th this year. So we're working on getting all the entertainment lined up for that and all the booths. Last year we had just about 50 different area business and organizations that came down and set up trick-or-treat stations for the kids. So we always usually have a really good turnout on that. So kind of focusing on getting that set up. We're only 5 weeks away. We're counting today, the stuff that needs to be done. So, but otherwise, I think that's all I have for now.
Thank you. Mr. Dubish.
Well, I'll start out with what I'm involved with, and then Trace can touch on, some of the upcoming events that we've got going at Lakeshore in the next month or so. We've been aerating tees and greens. Tees have been completed last week. Greens we started today, went well, and the top dressing went well to a point. We ran out of time, but kind of conflict with league play, so we tend to stop when that's occurring. But we hope to get that done by Wednesday in advance of the rains that are predicted. In discussion with the Friends of Lakeshore, they have offered to offset the cost of drainage work on number 2 fairway, which is in desperate need of help. So although they haven't committed, they have expressed interest, and they expect to until they have a vote, though. We can't plan and move ahead on it. We're preparing the course. We're trying to stop the bleeding on the irrigation system, which is a never-ending battle, just in time to blow it out and put it to bed for winter. It's a necessary evil, but it's also just plain evil, if you want my honest opinion. But the golf course is in relatively good shape. Fairways took a hit with the fungus outbreak, but we intend to take care of that, or at least address it, and then the fall fertilization on top of that. Hopefully that'll rebound by the time the course closes, and it'll go into winter healthy. With that, I'll turn it over to Trace, and he can throw out a couple.
Go ahead. Give up.
Sure.
Steve, a couple things. What about the 2 traps, the one on number 1, and the one on 15, the ones that are in disrepair?
Hope to grade them over
And fill them in? And then just do the regular tall, not tall
grass, but
rough grass?
rough grass, right.
Okay. You plan on doing that this winter?
Well, I hope to do it before winter, because
Fall?
You could
freeze
take
up,
some
we
of the
can't do much with the soil.
Maybe you could take some of the plants in Menominee Park and go out to the golf course.
I think not.
Trace, would you just pop in one?
I think not, no, Steve, no. But yes, I hope to borrow equipment from the Parks Department and address that.
Those 2? I know the one.
Well, if the time is right and the soil is available to to put a cap on some of those areas, I'd hope to hit the one on 17 and the one on 18 also.
Okay.
Not that
Have any trips out there anymore then? Be the only golf course in the whole community, already sand trip.
Only greenside bunkers. There's a few fairway bunkers, 8 and 6.
3? Oh, no.
It's a greenside bunker, but I mean, the fairway bunkers on 17 and 18 are double hazards. They're,
Right.
put any money into them, I think, is silly, myself. The bunker on 1 and 15, are just ill-placed. It's a part of a design that came from the architect. I think it just slows play down. So I agree. That's why we haven't done anything with them. We can't maintain them, we can't afford sand for them. But my plan is to, bulldoze those over and grade them out and have them play as rough.
Are we gonna get sand for the aeration of the greens this year?
Yes.
Small, right?
Two-thirds of it has been delivered. So, yeah, and then we're using a little smaller hole on the greens. We hope so, yeah. We have to fill the holes, so, if we need to buy another road, we will. But it should still be within budget.
Trace, you got anything more?
Don't have a lot. Got August numbers, so we were up 3% over last year. Had 130 plus for the city tournament again, which is, I think, great. For a 2-day tournament, to still get over 130 people to come out and play is pretty impressive. I mean, it's getting tough to get people to commit for a whole weekend like that. And then, rest of the year, a big event yet. The last Saturday in September, we got the 2-man scramble for the Big Cup, which last year we had 70 players. I'm hoping to get closer to 90 to 100 this year. Sign-ups are coming in pretty good. And other than that, leagues are winding down, and it's just kind of the fall run where we see the similar golfers pretty much. Unfortunately, a lot of people put their clubs away and stop golfing now, but hopefully, get some good weather, they still get out there and play, because there's a lot of great golf left this year. So, but again, I think, like I said earlier, I think we're about 30,000 over where we were last year through August.
Anything else? Notice everything goes smooth when rain here? Oh,
I don't know how smooth this went. Make a motion, we adjourn.
Seconded.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.